Success begins the moment you take control of your mind. The battlefield is internal. The war is invisible. But the victories, they shape your life. Everything you are, everything you'll ever become will rise or fall based on your attitude. You want success? Then build the foundation right here, inside your head. Adopt a positive mental attitude or be crushed by the weight of your own thinking. A weak mind will search for excuses. A strong mind finds reasons to win. When life slaps you down, when the world tells you no, when every door slams shut in your face, you don't fold. You don't retreat. You straighten your back and say, "Watch me rise." That's the power of attitude. It doesn't beg for mercy. It commands results. It doesn't whine. It works. The ones who break through, the ones who achieve the impossible, they don't carry a lucky charm. They carry a burning belief that refuses to die. It is not your education. It is not your connections. It is not the market. It is not luck. It is your mind. That's the lever that lifts your life. Feed it daily. Guard it fiercely. Think strong, speak strong, act strong, and your reality will obey. You attract what you are. Negative people attract failure. Positive minds pull success like steel to a magnet. It's not magic, it's mindset. Are you speaking life into your dreams, or are you poisoning your path with doubt? Every word you say is a seed. Every thought you think is a blueprint. Speak power. Think power. Build from within. There is no obstacle stronger than your determination, no enemy greater than your excuses, no ceiling higher than your belief. You want results? Start with responsibility. You are in charge. No one is coming to rescue you. It's your mind, your life, your job to shape it. Understand this. Problems are not the problem. Your attitude about the problem is. When you hit a wall, you've got two choices, break through or break down. Weak minds complain. Strong minds adapt. You don't let failure define you. You let it refine you. Every setback is a setup for a stronger comeback. If your attitude is built right, if it isn't, the smallest failure becomes a mountain you'll never climb. You must condition your mind like a warrior. No weak thoughts, no self-pity, no quitting. Positive thinking is not fake. It's focused. It doesn't ignore reality. It shapes it. It says, "Yes, I see the storm, but I am the storm." It faces fear and says, "You will not win today." It faces rejection and says, "I'll try again." It faces struggle and says, "Let this fire forge me." Discipline your thoughts. Think only what serves you. Speak only what strengthens you. Anything else, cut it out. No one ever became a champion by feeding their fears. Champions feed their faith. They speak victory before they see it. They show up every day with belief before results ever show up. That's not arrogance. That's clarity. That's mindset. That's how winners are made. So ask yourself, what are you carrying in your mind? What attitude do you wake up with? If it's negative, drop it. If it's weak, replace it. Today is the day you stop playing small. Today is the day you declare, "I will never again be a prisoner of doubt. I will never again let fear make my choices. I will never again wait for motivation. I will create it." You've got power in you. You've got greatness in you. But it starts with one choice. Adopt a positive mental attitude. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Refuse to complain, refuse to quit, refuse to be average. Decide today that your attitude will be your weapon, your compass, and your legacy. Because when your mind is right, your life follows every time. Your mind is the master key. It unlocks the door to everything you desire: wealth, strength, confidence, peace, victory. The world does not shape you. Your mind shapes the world you see. A weak mind lives in fear, doubt, and hesitation. A strong mind commands, executes, and conquers. You must understand this. The results you want are not locked away in luck or circumstances. They are waiting behind the locked door of discipline and belief, and your mind holds the only key that opens it. Every setback you've ever faced, every moment you've doubted yourself, every failure that shook your faith, it all came down to one thing: the state of your mind in that moment. A man with a positive mental attitude turns the worst day of his life into fuel for the future. A man with a negative mindset finds misery in success. You don't need more money, more time, or more help. You need more control over your thoughts. You need a mind that works for you, not against you. One that says yes when the world screams no. One that sees victory while standing in the middle of defeat. One that refuses to retreat even when the path disappears. What you allow into your mind becomes your reality. If you feed it fear, it will manifest problems. If you feed it faith, it will create solutions. What you constantly repeat becomes what you believe. And what you believe becomes who you are. This is not philosophy. This is the law. You attract what you are. You attract what you expect. You attract what you prepare for. If your mind is constantly focused on what can go wrong, your life will be a reflection of that worry. But if your mind is locked on growth, power, and results, life has no choice but to match that level of energy. Attitude is the engine behind every action you take. Positive mental attitude doesn't mean pretending things are easy. It means refusing to surrender when they're hard. It means showing up when motivation is gone. It means choosing power over pity. The man who wins is not always the smartest, he's not always the most talented, but he always has the mind to keep going when others quit. He's not ruled by emotions. He's not distracted by negativity. He's not interested in excuses. His mind is fixed on one thing. Results when the world gives you pain. You have two options, collapse or convert it into power. When you hit a wall, you don't cry about it. You use your mind to break through it. You dig deep and you push harder. You hold the image of the goal so strong in your mind that every part of your body is pulled toward it. That's the power of mental focus. That's the force of will. That's the edge that separates legends from the rest. People walk around every day with unlimited power locked inside them, yet never realize it. They carry greatness in their spirit, but sabotage it with the wrong mindset. They listen to fear, feed their doubts, and talk themselves out of success. But not you. You know now that every thought is a command. Every thought you repeat builds a structure in your brain. You either build a palace or a prison, and you live in what you build. So you build wisely. You think strength. You speak truth. You move with confidence, even when your knees shake. Because you know your mind will follow where your words lead. There will be storms. There will be delays. There will be moments when everything you believe is tested. That's where most people break. But not you. You don't break. You rise. You've trained your mind for this. You've built a mental foundation that doesn't shake with fear or fall with failure. While others panic, you prepare. While others blame, you build. You've burned the bridge to weakness. You've committed to strength. And no matter how long it takes, you know that results belong to the relentless. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You don't need someone to tell you you're capable. You already know. You know that the game is mental. You know that your biggest enemy is not the economy, not the competition, not the critics. It's your own mind when left undisciplined. So you keep it sharp, you keep it strong. You feed it truth, you guard it like a vault, and you walk through every challenge like it was made for you to win. Because it was. Because this is your time. Because you've made a decision. And a made-up mind is a weapon. No obstacle can survive you. Carry a fire in you that cannot be put out. You carry a vision so strong that no darkness can erase it. You carry a mental attitude so powerful that failure becomes fuel and rejection becomes redirection. You speak with certainty. You walk with clarity. And you don't flinch when life pushes back. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when the job is done. You don't beg for opportunity. You prepare for it. You don't wait for success. You become the kind of person success is drawn to, all because your mind is built like a fortress and your attitude is your sword. Keep your focus. Protect your energy. Refuse the negative. Speak only what builds. Think only what serves. Move only with purpose. And never forget your mind is the master key, and you are the one who decides what it unlocks. Circumstances don't matter. Your attitude does. The world will throw storms at you. The timing will never be perfect. People will doubt you, and obstacles will rise like mountains. But none of that controls your destiny. Your attitude is the only force that decides whether you rise or fall. Two people can face the same situation. One breaks, the other breaks through. One complains, the other conquers. The difference is never the environment. It is always the mindset. Your future isn't written in the chaos around you. It's written in how you respond to it. When you carry the right attitude, you become unshakable. You walk into pressure and turn it into strength. You see failure and squeeze it until it gives you wisdom. You stand inside the fire and refuse to burn. The weak want easier days. The strong demand a stronger mind. That's the difference. Life will never hand you the perfect setup. You will never have all the advantages. But if you bring the right attitude, you can bend reality. You can outlast, outwork, and outgrow anything that tries to stop you. Not because it's easy, but because your mind refuses to quit. People who wait for perfect conditions die waiting. Those who succeed learn to operate in imperfection. They show up when it's inconvenient. They push forward when nothing around them says it's possible. Their attitude drives them, not their feelings. They don't wait to feel motivated. They make moves without emotion. They build discipline while others build excuses. They rise early, stay late, and work in silence. Not because the world is kind, but because their mind is. They've trained it, molded it, rewired it. They've made the decision to lead from the inside, not react to the outside. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your testing ground. And your attitude determines whether you pass or stay stuck. When problems come, the question is not why me? The question is what now? That shift in perspective is everything. A positive attitude doesn't remove the struggle. It redefines it. It turns pressure into preparation. It turns pain into persistence. It turns setbacks into strategy. And with that mindset, nothing is wasted. Every hardship is a hammer that forges something greater in you. You stop avoiding the challenge, and you start welcoming it, knowing it's shaping who you're becoming. There is no value in blaming others, and no progress in pointing fingers. Circumstances are loud, but they don't write your story. You do. Every single day you're given the choice to rise above or sink beneath. And every time you choose growth, you weaken the grip of fear. Every time you choose discipline, you silence the voice of doubt. Every time you choose to stay focused when others fold, you widen the gap between average and unstoppable. That's the result of attitude. It's not about pretending things are fine. It's about standing strong even when they're not. Look around you. Most people fold under pressure. They run when it gets hard. They blame the market, the weather, the timing, the government, anything but themselves. That's not power. That's surrender. But you weren't built to fold. You were built to lead, to fight, to stand tall when it counts. And the key is not talent. It's not luck. It's not who you know. It's your attitude. That inner fire that says, no matter what comes, I'm still going, I'm still growing, I'm still in control. That's how empires are built. That's how legends are made. That's how dreams become reality. When you truly adopt the right attitude, everything changes. People feel your energy. Your actions carry intensity. Your words have weight. You no longer hope things work out, you make them work. You no longer need constant support, you generate your own fire. You no longer beg for opportunity. You create momentum so strong that opportunity finds you. The world responds to your mindset. Doors open. People notice. Results show up. But it all starts with a choice, a decision to hold the right posture even when everything feels wrong. No one is immune to difficulty. No one escapes the valleys. But those with the right attitude use every low point as a launch pad. They build through pain. They smile through resistance. They refuse to stop climbing because they've trained themselves to see the mission, not the mess. They've rewired their focus to see the outcome, not the obstacles. They live with the kind of attitude that makes them dangerous to failure. It's not arrogance, it's clarity, it's power. It's belief that cannot be shaken by circumstances. That's the edge you carry when your attitude is right. You're no longer tossed around by external events. You become the cause, not the effect. You lead, not follow. You build, not beg. And most importantly, you endure, not because it's easy, but because you've already made peace with the price. The pain is part of it, the struggle is part of it, but your attitude makes it all worth it. Because the result is yours, the vision is yours, the dream is yours. And no storm gets to cancel that unless you let it, so you stand firm. You speak power, you act with purpose, and you show this world what happens when someone refuses to be defined by circumstances. You live proof that strength isn't born in comfort. It's carved in chaos. And your attitude, that's your weapon. That's your shield. That's your crown. You wear it daily and you never take it off. Control your inner conversation, because that voice inside your head is the loudest influence on your life. It speaks when no one else does. It echoes in the silence. It shapes your decisions before the world ever sees your actions. The way you talk to yourself in the dark, in the struggle, in the waiting, that is the foundation of your mindset. That voice can either be your greatest weapon or your most vicious enemy. Every thought you allow, every phrase you repeat, every internal dialogue you entertain is writing your story one sentence at a time when your inner voice is weak. Your strength will be fake. You can show confidence on the outside, but doubt will eat you alive from the inside. You can smile in public and still drown in private because you never mastered the one voice that matters most. You don't need more praise. You need more mental discipline. You don't need more noise from the world. You need more clarity from within. That's where champions are born, not in applause, but in the quiet moments when no one is watching, and the only voice guiding them is their own. You have to decide what that voice will say. You must choose to speak strength, not weakness, progress, not fear, vision, not confusion. The most successful people in the world aren't those who had perfect circumstances. They're those who trained their minds to serve them, not sabotage them. They programmed that inner voice with precision, turning it into a machine of focus, belief, and execution. When doubt knocks, they answer with certainty. When fear whispers, they roar back with faith. When excuses creep in, they slam the door and go harder. You must speak victory before you see results. You must speak discipline before motivation shows up. You must speak resilience before your situation improves. Your inner conversation is not based on what you feel. It's based on what you've decided. You don't need proof to start believing. You create proof by refusing to break. You build it word by word, thought by thought, moment by moment. And if you let that voice drift, if you let it turn negative, your life will follow. But if you control it, your direction becomes unstoppable. Do not let your mind become a playground for fear. Do not allow your thoughts to drift into doubt. The mind will wander, yes, but you are the one holding the reins. Pull it back, redirect it, command it. When your thoughts start drifting into what you can't do, what might go wrong, what other people think, cut them off. Replace them with power. Replace them with truth. You don't owe weakness anything. You don't owe fear a conversation. You owe your future your full mental control, and that starts with what you tell yourself. You say you want more out of life. Then speak like it, walk like it, think like it. You don't need to impress others. You need to impress your own potential. That means no more I can't, no more maybe, no more one day. Speak clear, speak strong. Speak like the person you're becoming, not the one you used to be. Talk to yourself like someone you are responsible for building. That inner voice is your builder or your destroyer. You can use it to stack bricks of confidence or shatter your foundation with hesitation. Every time you speak power to yourself, you add armor. Every time you allow negativity, you weaken your momentum. Words are not empty. They are blueprints. And your mind builds exactly what you repeat. You don't rise when you finally feel good. You rise when you speak like a warrior, even with tired bones and a heavy heart. You rise when you affirm your purpose, even when the results are invisible. You rise when you stop giving doubt the microphone and give it instead to faith, discipline, and grit. There will be times when life goes quiet. No progress, no recognition, no validation. That's when the inner conversation becomes everything. Will you speak strength when no one is clapping? Will you speak belief when there's no evidence? Will you speak purpose when your plans fall apart? Because that's what separates the average from the elite. Not talent, not timing, not luck. The ones who win are the ones who speak life when everything around them looks dead. They speak forward when life pulls them backward. They speak fire into cold days, focus into chaos, and courage into uncertainty. Your thoughts will try to betray you. Fear will dress itself up as logic. Doubt will pretend to be realistic. Insecurity will whisper lies in your own voice. But you must know better. You must be stronger. You must build the habit of responding with truth every time a lie surfaces. You are not your weakness. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are your decisions. You are your discipline. You are your attitude. Speak like it, think like it, move like it. The mind will try to run wild. Your job is to train it like a soldier. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You choose what to focus on. You choose what to repeat. You choose what to believe. And every time you control your inner conversation, you build an identity that can't be shaken. You start to walk different. You start to breathe different. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. You built something unshakable inside, and now the outside can't break it. Speak what you seek until you see what you spoke. Keep your mind locked on the outcome, not the obstacles. Refuse to let fear run your inner dialogue. Refuse to let excuses live in your thoughts. Refuse to let old failures speak louder than future victories. Control your inner conversation and watch your entire life begin to shift. Your energy attracts results, not your resume, not your background, not even your skill alone. What pulls success toward you, what creates movement in your life, is the force you carry within you, the intensity of your focus, the fire in your presence, the energy you bring to every task, every goal, every obstacle. People feel it before they hear your words. Life responds to it before plans even take form. You either walk in the room like a storm or fade into the background like smoke. The energy you radiate becomes the outcome you live with. Success doesn't chase people who show up weak, hesitant, or half-committed. It gravitates to the ones who come with conviction, the ones who walk with a sense of direction, even when the path isn't clear. You don't get results by begging for them. You get them by becoming a magnet for them, by aligning every part of you, your thoughts, your habits, your words, your pace, with the level of success you demand. You don't need to scream to be powerful. You just need to be real, focused, and consistent. That vibration alone moves mountains. You can't fake energy. You can't pretend to be committed. You either live it or you don't. The world can tell. Results can tell. People can feel when you're just playing the part and when you're ready to dominate. And energy doesn't come from hype. It comes from clarity, from knowing exactly what you want and refusing to back down until you get it. That's the kind of force that flips switches, turns heads, and builds empires. You don't need to announce it, just show up with it. Energy speaks for you when words fall short. Your energy is shaped by how you start your day, how you handle pressure, how you talk to yourself, how you treat others. It's your posture in difficulty. It's your pace when others slow down. You don't generate high-level results with low-level energy. You don't climb by dragging your feet. You rise when your mindset, your actions, and your spirit are fully locked in. When you bring that kind of force every day, results become inevitable. You're not hoping anymore, you're creating. You're not wishing, you're commanding. Look at the people who are winning, not just surviving, but dominating. They didn't wait for energy to find them. They created it. They became the source. Even when things went wrong, even when the world told them not now. They didn't slow down. They intensified. They doubled down because they knew their energy would either attract progress or repel it. They didn't let circumstances dim their light. They turned adversity into fuel and pain into presence. That's the mindset. That's the energy. That's the level you reach when you decide excuses are too expensive to carry. You are either feeding your power or draining it. There is no neutral. Every time you choose to show up fully, to move with purpose, to execute with intensity, you raise your energy. You multiply your chances. You amplify your results. But when you hesitate, when you delay, when you coast, your energy fades, and with it, so does your opportunity. Don't wait to feel ready. Decide to be ready. Decide to bring your full force no matter what. Because your next level isn't waiting for you to feel perfect. It's waiting for you to rise regardless. High energy doesn't mean being loud. It means being undeniable. It means staying sharp when others check out. It means showing up with clarity, confidence, and drive. It means pushing through resistance, leading through silence, standing tall when others shrink. Your energy becomes your brand, your standard. It speaks before you do. It works even when you're not in the room. And it tells the world, this person is serious. The world believes you when your energy leaves no room for doubt. There are no shortcuts here. You can't outsource energy. You can't fake hunger. You can't pretend to be committed while your actions tell the truth. Either you live with that fire or you don't. Either you walk in your purpose or you drift in someone else's. Energy doesn't come from comfort. It comes from alignment. You get powerful when your actions match your ambition. You become unstoppable when your energy screams louder than your fears. That's when the results show up. That's when doors open. That's when momentum becomes a habit, not a miracle. So you fuel your energy with purpose. You protect it like gold. You stop giving your time to distractions and your mind to negativity. You stop handing your energy over to people who drain it. You guard your focus like it's the key to your future, because it is. And every time you show up with fire, with focus, with drive, the world bends. Results come faster. Opportunities find you. The grind gets lighter, not because it's easy, but because you're built for it now. You want more? Bring more. Speak less. Prove more. Carry yourself like the person who already has what you're working for. Think like it, move like it, live like it. Because your energy doesn't lie. It doesn't beg, or it doesn't doubt. It attracts. It builds. It commands. And when that becomes your baseline, nothing can deny you. Adversity is your testing ground. It is not here to destroy you. It is here to reveal you. In struggle, your real character steps forward. In pressure, your limits are shattered or exposed. You don't build strength when everything is going right. You build strength when nothing makes sense, when everything is against you, and you choose to rise anyway. Adversity asks one question, will you fold or will you fight? And your answer to that question defines your future, not your goals, not your dreams. Your response under pressure is the blueprint of who you are becoming. The weak retreat in the face of adversity because they expect life to be fair. The strong expect resistance. They prepare for it. They use it. They see the obstacle not as a wall, but as a door, a passage that can only be opened with effort, with persistence, with resolve. The minute you stop fearing hardship is the minute you become dangerous, because adversity loses its power over the one who refuses to break. That's when the shift happens. That's when pain becomes purpose and the struggle becomes the spark that lights your next level. Comfort makes you soft. Difficulty forces you to grow. When you avoid adversity, you delay your evolution. You stay stuck in what's easy and never touch what's exceptional. But when you embrace adversity, when you lean into it, stare it down, walk through it, you unlock a version of yourself you've never met. It's not found in the good days. It's hidden in the fight. And the harder the test, the greater the transformation. You're not here to coast. You're here to conquer. And that mindset only forms in the furnace of resistance. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards proof. And adversity gives you the stage to show what you're made of. It's where the talk stops and the action begins. It's where the ones who say, I want it, are separated from the ones who live it. Because adversity doesn't care about your words. It cares about your work, your response, your ability to stand tall when your plans fall apart, when the outcome is uncertain, when the crowd disappears. That's where champions are made. That's the difference between those who try and those who triumph. Adversity sharpens your focus. It strips away the unnecessary and leaves you with what matters. It humbles you, refines you, shows you what's real. You stop chasing comfort. You stop needing applause. You stop wasting time. You start moving different, thinking different, acting with clarity and urgency. Because when you face the fire and live through it, distractions lose their grip. Fear loses its voice. You no longer operate from emotion. You move with purpose, with power, with precision. The ones who win long-term are not the most talented. They're the ones who never stop, the ones who take the hit and keep swinging. The ones who get knocked down and get back up every single time. They don't just survive adversity, they feed off it. They grow stronger because of it. They use every setback as data, every failure as direction, every delay as development. That's how greatness is built. Not in the moments when things are easy, but in the moments when everything says stop and you go harder. You need adversity. You need resistance. That's how your foundation is tested. That's how your vision is refined. You don't even know who you are until the storm comes. You don't know what you're capable of until the plan collapses. And when it does, the question is never, why is this happening to me? The question is, what am I going to do now? Will you stand still or will you adapt? Will you break or will you build? Will you surrender or will you step into the fire and forge something greater? The struggle is not a punishment, it's preparation. Every tough season is equipping you with what you'll need at the next level. Every hardship is planting seeds of strength that will bear fruit if you keep pushing. You may not see it now, but adversity is building your resilience, your wisdom, your emotional armor. It's training you to handle more, carry more, lead more, and when the pressure lifts, you'll realize you didn't just survive, you evolved, you rose, you became the kind of person nothing can stop. You don't need perfect conditions to win. You need commitment in imperfect ones. You need hunger that refuses to fade. You need vision that doesn't rely on comfort. You need a mindset that turns every punch into power. That's what adversity is giving you, the opportunity to become solid, stable, unshakable. While others crumble, you build. While others retreat, you rise. While others doubt, you declare. You don't ask for easier roads, you sharpen your steps. You don't lower the mountain, you raise your game. And that's why you win. So take the pain, take the losses, take the delays, the critics, the chaos, and turn it into fire. Turn it into lessons, turn it into fuel. Let adversity mold you, not break you. Let it carve out the version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, and doesn't fear what's next. Because you know this truth, adversity doesn't define you. It reveals the warrior you already are. Success starts with a decision, one choice. One moment where you draw the line and say, this is where everything changes. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's not something that happens to you. It's something you commit to with everything you have. Before results show up, before momentum builds, before anyone believes in you, it starts with you deciding that failure is no longer an option and average is no longer acceptable. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for perfect timing. You decide, and that decision becomes your new identity. When you make that decision, you cut off every exit. You shut the door to excuses. You silence the noise of doubt. You remove the backup plan. You go all in with your focus, your effort, your discipline. You don't negotiate with your goals anymore. You don't need constant motivation. The decision becomes the fuel. It becomes the structure that holds everything else together. Success doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from a commitment so strong that quitting no longer feels like an option you're allowed to entertain. You can't achieve what you're not willing to decide on first. People walk around hoping for breakthroughs without ever planting a flag. They dream, but they don't decide. They say they want more, but they haven't drawn the line that says, I will do whatever it takes. Until that moment, they're just visitors in their own potential. But the moment you decide, everything changes. You think different. You walk different. You don't dabble. You dominate. You don't chase options. You execute on one vision with relentless clarity. A true decision requires discipline. It means you're done with distractions. You're done with talking more than acting. You're done with living below your capacity. And once that decision is made, success starts moving toward you. Not because it's magic, but because you're finally moving with precision. You're no longer drifting. You're no longer second-guessing. You're no longer asking if it will work. You're making it work. Every move becomes intentional. Every hour becomes valuable. Every setback becomes part of the strategy, not a reason to retreat. The power of decision is that it takes you from hoping to commanding, from reacting to initiating, from being pushed around by circumstances to shaping your own outcome. It's not that problems stop showing up. It's that you stop folding under them, because your decision hardens your focus. It stiffens your spine. It sharpens your response. You face challenges differently when your mind is made up. You don't waste time doubting. You don't give energy to hesitation. You're too locked in on the target to care about distractions. Most people never get what they want because they never fully decide. They stay in the middle, half in, half out. They entertain other options. They wait for more signs. Or they think about their goals instead of building them. But winners don't wait. They don't hope for alignment. They create it. They choose the direction, lock into it, and pay the price. Not for a week, not for a month, for as long as it takes. Because success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most committed. And commitment begins with a decision that you never take back. If you want to rise, you have to decide to eliminate what holds you back. That means walking away from comfort, from habits that waste your energy, from people who drain your ambition. You decide to remove what weakens you so you can finally build what strengthens you. It's not just about what you start doing, it's about what you stop tolerating. Success is built on sacrifice, and every decision you make is either bringing you closer to your purpose or pulling you away from it. There is no neutral. Every action either builds or destroys. You don't need more time, you need more decisions. You don't need more advice, you need execution. Make the call. Burn the excuses. Move forward. You won't have all the answers. You don't need them. Clarity comes from movement, not from overthinking. Once you've decided, every step after that becomes a demonstration of that decision. It shows up in your work ethic, in your presence, in your patience, in your resilience. You become the kind of person who follows through, the kind of person who makes success look inevitable, because deep down it already is. People around you will notice. They'll feel the shift, because energy follows decision. Focus follows decision. Progress follows decision. You don't have to convince anyone. Just show up every day as the version of you who already decided. Speak like it, move like it, execute like it, and eventually even the things that once felt impossible will start bending in your direction. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Because you made a decision and you never looked back. So what's holding you? Not time, not talent, not luck. It's the decision you haven't made yet. The one that demands you go all in. The one that forces you to leave your comfort zone. The one that tells the world, I'm not available for anything less than extraordinary. Make that decision. Own it, live it, let it drive everything. Because success starts with a decision, and that decision starts with you. Winners are made in silence, not noise. They don't broadcast every move. They don't beg for validation. While the world is busy talking, they're quietly building. While others are chasing attention, they're chasing discipline. They know that results speak louder than promises, and legacy speaks louder than likes. The loudest in the room is rarely the most focused. True power operates without needing applause. It doesn't crave the spotlight. It becomes the reason for one. The work gets done behind closed doors, in the early hours, in the late nights, when no one is watching but everything is being shaped. Discipline is forged in isolation. Progress is made in the shadows. Growth happens in the moments when the world isn't watching, when the cameras are off, and when there's no audience to perform for. That's where winners are built. In the reps no one counts, in the sacrifices no one applauds, in the consistency no one sees. The silence isn't empty. It's full of effort, full of grind, full of decisions that most people avoid. Every step taken in the dark builds the foundation that can carry greatness when the light finally comes. Noise is a distraction. Chasing recognition too early destroys more dreams than failure ever could. You don't need to prove yourself with words. You prove yourself with execution. Winners don't need to announce that they're working. They let their results walk into the room first. They're not posting every moment. They're perfecting it. They're not proving to people. They're proving to themselves. The real battle is internal, and that battle is fought in silence, where doubt whispers and discipline must roar back even louder. You'll notice something about the people who actually win. They're calm, grounded, focused. They're not in the business of hype. They're in the business of building. They're not easily swayed by opinions because their mission is louder than the noise around them. They know that silence is where clarity is born, where habits are sharpened, and where vision becomes unshakable. While others are performing, they're preparing. While others are celebrating too early, they're doubling down. That's why they don't fade. That's why they finish. The crowd loves spectacle. But the process, that's private. That's where you separate yourself. That's where you suffer in order to rise. If you can stay focused in the silence, you'll own the results in the end. If you can be consistent when no one cares, you'll dominate when they finally notice. Winners don't rush to be seen. They rush to be ready. They understand that success isn't earned through declarations. It's earned through daily decisions that nobody claps for. They live in a different rhythm, one where discipline beats motivation and preparation kills doubt. Every goal you chase will test your ability to stay locked in while everyone else gets distracted. It'll test how much you really want it, not when it's exciting, but when it's boring. Not when you're supported, but when you're alone. That's where most people fall. They can't handle the quiet. They can't stay focused without attention. But winners understand that greatness grows slowly, silently, and with ruthless consistency. They don't just survive in silence, they thrive in it. Because it's in that silence where they build the edge others don't see coming. Success requires patience. It requires a long-term game. And that means being okay with not being recognized for a while. It means showing up when the hype has died down, when the motivation is gone, when nobody is asking how it's going. That's when you decide who you are. That's when you build the kind of foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. Anyone can be loud for a moment, but winners last because their commitment was never about being seen. It was about becoming solid. You want to rise? Shut the noise down. Or get off the stage, get in the lab. Get serious about the version of you that doesn't need praise to perform. Build in silence so deeply that success becomes the only explanation left. You're not here to impress. You're here to become undeniable. And that doesn't require anyone's permission. It doesn't require a platform. It only requires the daily discipline to keep showing up, keep executing, and keep grinding long after the applause fades. Let everyone else talk. Let them post. Let them seek credit before they've earned results. Your focus is different. Your game is different. You're not chasing attention. You're chasing mastery. You're not interested in noise. You're building something that will last long after the noise dies. And when the time comes, your results will speak so loud that silence won't be necessary anymore. But until then, keep working, keep growing, keep building in silence, because that's where winners are made. So stay quiet and stay focused. Let others waste time chasing attention while you chase mastery. Let the world wonder what you're up to. Because when the moment comes, your results will speak louder than anything you could have said. You weren't built for applause. You were built for impact. And impact doesn't need noise. It needs discipline, it needs patience, and it needs fire that doesn't flicker when no one's watching. Keep building in silence. Because when it's time, the world won't ask what you did. It'll ask how you became unstoppable.